So we're learning the power of life and death is in the way we talk. In other words, the spoken word is creative. Because it said, back there in Proverbs, that we could produce life or death. Whatever way we talk is the fruit that we will have working in our life. So now, let's go look at that in a little more detail, because we're going to want to use this principle to produce, or to change, let's put it this way, sickness into health. I want to look at the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 3. And here it says that through faith we understand that the worlds were formed by the Word of God. Words were formed, the world was formed, created by what God said. We know that. Back in the book of Genesis, it said, and God said, and there was. He produced light in the heavens and the firmament by what He said. The power of life and death is in our tongue. And that's the same way it is with God. He used that principle to create the world. Let's go a little bit further. Now listen, there's another word there that I want to look at. It was through faith. He knew. He had confidence. There was no doubt about it that when he spoke, something was going to happen. And we need to have that same faith. We'll see that in just a moment. He had faith that the power of life and death was in his words. And it goes on to say that he formed the world by what he said, so that things that we see were not made from things which do appear. So the Big Bang Theory is destroyed right there. In other words, planets did not collide and form the world. God spoke something into being that never existed before. He had a vision in his mind, and he spoke with his mouth, because he had faith that the spoken word had the power, creative power to produce results, either life or death or fruit. He had that faith. And he spoke things into being that never before existed. This natural world was spoke into being. It started in a spiritual entity, in the mind of God, and what He said.